是两位传奇以教练的身份再一次证明谁真正参透了 DOTA 这款游戏。
And it is time for new names to inscribe their place in history.
也是新的名字将自己写进 DOTA 历史的时刻。
Shanghai, are you ready?
Such a beautiful arena here, a full house, a lot of fans coming from everywhere here to celebrate what is our 15th international. And there's cheers for Vision, there's a lot of cheers for Spirit is the way in which I will coin this. And I love just what narrative we've been able to accrue for ourselves between these 10 players.
But you know, I really hope the crowd bias lights a fire in Team Vision and in Puppy because they've been the greatest Dota team this TI. They are the strongest players, and I would only hope that this gives them the need to rise to the occasion, to prove themselves even more. And I feel like these grand finals are going to be exceptional.
I feel like starting out as a techies player for 9 class, like being the guy that used to place these mines, always annoy each other. I think there's nothing he wants more than to just silence all the haters. I think he loves this. I think it could be no better situation for him to be in than to have the crowd cheer against them and for him to end their fun.
This is the stage you do it. Ducalis asked for it. He wanted the Prince versus King. But if you come for the King, you best not miss.
Team Vision versus Team Spirit. Grand Finals. Game 1.
It's on the line of a game number 1 here. You always want to be taking a best of 5 with your best foot forward here. And it's going to start off with hopefully a strong draft. It is going to be Vision that will have our first pick, which some teams love. Some teams thrive on it. Other teams, they want that second pick because they want to be able to have the overall gotcha pick here. And looking at our first phase bans, Bane, Clockwork, Wyvern, Coddle, Earth Spirit, Tree, and Bounty Hunter taken out with Vision not too worried about opening up with an Ember here, despite we know the threats.
For me are going to be the Ember Spirit, the Lone Druid, and the Nature's Prophet. And to see Team Vision place the emphasis on the Ember Spirit, they did their homework. They don't want to give it to Laurel. They're saying that our opener in Nature's Prophet is not as important as taking away Ember from Spirit's mid laner.
And this is very interesting. I think this is a sort of a calling of the bluff. Vision, I think, picked this because Laurel historically is not someone that wants to play these sort of more weird carry mid heroes. He wants to play the stuns, the space makers for Yatoro, who's the real star of the show. And so Vision is saying, hey, Slark is obviously super good against Ember, but we think you won't play it. And Laurel says, you sure, buddy?
It's kind of cool because he also did say in his interview that I don't think this matchup is real. I don't think it works. But, you know, one humbling later, and you're on the train, you're like, oh, you know what? If they pick Ember, give me the Slark. I will cook them.
And the humbling came from Vision themselves. That was the matchup in which it happened. We saw this just a couple of days ago where it was reversed. It was Spirit with the Ember and Vision with the Slark.
And I think Vision will have considered the scenario that they would have picked Slark here. And if I know 9 class, I know that he is definitely considering to play this Ember 4. We saw the Ember carry as a potential flex from in one of Liquid series. And I think flexing it to support may actually even be a better option. Ember 4 has been something we've seen in the past. It's not the worst thing ever. With the Distiller playing up Slight Chains and actually not playing up the Flame Guard is definitely a viable playstyle. And if you want to swap lanes, I think it definitely could be an option.
While I do think the 9 class of old would have absolutely loved to do that, I think the puppified version of 9 class will not be allowed to partake in such things. I mean, we heard from him at EWC that Puppy was vetoing so many of his hero suggestions that he asked him all that tournament if he could play his position 4 Juggernaut, and he never got it. I just somehow don't see them going down that route
I will say, vetoing Juggernaut position 4 and Ember, I feel like it's a different situation, right? Because let's say we go down the hypothetical of the Ember Spirit is a position 4 in this game. Laurel is now playing Slark. And he doesn't want to be playing Slark. And now suddenly Vision has changed the dynamic of this game to be a game that they like. And I feel like when they look the best is when they make the game into their game. They take control of the draft in that way, right? They force Laurel onto a hero he doesn't want to be playing, in a matchup he doesn't really love. And when I remember personally playing Tinker, which was like one of my favorite heroes at the point, into 9 class TA. And I was like, I've never played this matchup in my entire life. I don't know what's going on. And I think that's one of the things that makes 9 class such a special player, that he can do that to you.
I also love this Dark Willow pick from Spirit because it's been one of Vision's most picked and most successful 4 heroes. And to say, hey, this is a hero you rely on. You really like it in your drafts. We're going to ban your Coddle. We're going to take your Dark Willow. I think Spirit in finals is incredibly good at taking you out of your comfort zone, of understanding the heroes that you really want, especially in a final, right? You want to play the stuff you've been playing, the stuff you're comfortable on, and they're going to poke at that. They're going to poke holes and make you prove that you can play something you haven't been playing the whole tournament.
It's really cool to see. I feel like right now we're in a position where both sides are like not letting go of the draft. You know, they're both trying to pull it in their direction, make you play our game, and neither team is really giving it up yet.
There are still quite a few things left in the pool, though. The Lina, the Lone Druid, the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet has been Team Vision's go-to this entire tournament. It's only lost one time in the hands of Satanic, and the only way to beat it has been to consistently run at it with heroes with tempo non-stop. And the mid Slark, while it's going to shut down Ember effectively in that mid lane, doesn't provide the same tempo.
I also would just love to point out how interesting and how much the drafts change over the international. At the beginning of it, we have first pick, you know, Treants and Banes and sort of normal heroes we see. And now at the end, there's a first pick Slark. I think that evolution of Dota and how the meta changes and the counter picking, the creativity from the teams, I think is such a fascinating part to see that, you know, that journey that the draft goes through.
We also talked about how impactful the supports have been coming into the series. For me, especially, I think about Rue, not me. And if you look at the bans that Vision decided to go with, as Mira points out, all the cores are in the pool. Why is that? Well, because you have some of the best support players in the world, and they're forcing out these bans.
Wow.
Yeah, and Io being let through, because it goes back to what you were referencing here, Quinn, where there is this massive cycle that is happening where Io wasn't looked at the start of our TI. It wasn't looked at in the group stages. It hit a peak where everyone was first face banning it. You might be able to call the bluff of some teams, but ultimately you are afraid of what it can do either as a mid or a carry hero.
Yeah, and it's a hero that Spirit does not really touch, and we haven't really seen Vision play as a core either. But they're pulling it out of the hat saying, hey, we've got this extra trump card up our sleeve that now you need to have answers for, because it's a hero we've seen, when played well on core, be borderline unbeatable. The question is, can Vision actually execute it to the level that maybe some of these other teams that have now fallen by the wayside can?
It's quite heads up of them to take it, though, because while Spirit haven't run it, it would have been an excellent thing to combo with the Slark. And we have to mention, 9 class was playing position 4 IO for the last 2 months. While the hero did shift in priority to core and looks better as a core, this is still one of their more comfortable strategies if they flex it to support. And he's a greedy 4 IO player. He's not like GH playing the enabling role. He's farming those 2 camps, he's max leveling Wisps, and he's taking as much gold as he can.
I also see a lot of the traditional heroes that you would want to play against the IO be banned out. You see Underlord, very good percentage damage, good roots, has a way to like counter the relocate. He relocates in, you can gate in. Nowadays the gate also has the root on top of it, so it's a tricky matchup for the IO. Same thing with the Doom, stops all healing. One of the drawbacks to IO is that you have no stuns, so Bane is quite effective. It's easy to get Fiend's Grip off, and the same thing for the Winter Wyvern with the Curse on the relocate.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something planned and something they said, hey, we're going to consider this for second phase. We'll look at the first phase, see how it goes, and then potentially we can alter our bans, get out the Doom and the Underlord, and then we get what we deem to be a free IO in the second phase. And this is very much not something I think Spirit necessarily would have expected, because they haven't prioritized it up till this point. And so they need to respond on the fly, right? All your prep, some of it's out the window now. You're flying by the seat of your pants.
Wow.
And I think that's a testament to it. Disruptor is a classic combo to IO. You press the relocate, but you get glimpsed right back out, and it removes a lot of this early snowballing potential that IO has, where he can get involved in these kills, explode his GPM, and get online super quickly.
A brand new hero at the TI Grand Finals. I love this so much. They've thought about this. They've gone through every single scenario, and at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a hero people have full faith in, but on paper and on execution, it should be able to give Spirit that slight advantage.
I am so curious to see how this will unfold, because Disruptor isn't in the strongest state that he's been, but he does make a lot of sense, not just with the IO, but with the Slark. For a mid Slark to set tempo, he needs supports that can play on his night vision, and if you pair up the Glimpse with the Slark just de-warding, positioning his body aggressively, the amount of kills that can be developed by Team Spirit are going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense, right? I think one of the things that Spirit has managed to do throughout the last stages of this tournament is to find heroes that are picked with purpose. the hero has clearly a reason to be in this game. It's good against the IO. It's even good against the Ember in many ways. You get any sort of stun on the Ember, you get the static storm on top of it, and he just dies. And against Mirana, she wants to leap away. And we've seen problems in this patch where these Miranas, like GH was playing, it was like 9-1 and 17 because you just can't kill him. But with Glimpse, that suddenly becomes very easy.
Yeah, it's the way Team Spirit drafts. They see what you have, and they respond to it on a theoretical level. They're not trying to pick the same stuff every game. They're trying to pick what makes sense if everyone was playing perfect. And I think that's such a cool and interesting way of drafting. But there definitely is, the risk when picking Disruptor that the hero is just not that good right now. It's a great game for it, but you're walking into lane against Axe. The hero's going to be pressing Battle Hunger on you off cooldown, and there is that burden of execution. Disruptor wants to play from ahead. He hates playing from behind. You have to chase people to be able to use Glimpse and actually have it be effective, so there's a risk in lanes.
Yeah, the game can get out of hand really quickly for a Disruptor on the losing team. When we look at Team Vision, we see the main combination in their draft in the slight chains into Arrow. This is going to be how they're going to play through the mid game, and Dark Willow and Disruptor as supports are very susceptible to dying to this combination. They have no means of defending themselves. There really is no counterplay outside of being the aggressor yourselves on Team Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Another cool factor about Vision's draft is like, where is any of these heroes going? We still don't know. Is this a position for Ember potentially? Is this IO going to be a 4? They have a lot of ability to adapt their entire draft with this last pick. And I think Spirit, like we said, they like to conceptually beat what you're setting up for. And by putting themselves in this position where we're just not going to tell you what our draft wants to do at the end of the day, gives them that advantage. And I think it doesn't allow Spirit to have that edge that they've had in all the other drafts leading up to this grand final.
Now, on top of that, it also makes your last bands very cloudy because you don't know where these roles are going. It's much easier to miss on those last bands, which you would typically want to be very accurate and take out some key heroes that could be game-winning picks, counter picks against your draft. Well, you don't really know what those are anymore. You can see them banning the Kez, so they're definitely considering this being a support IO.
I mean, that's the only thing we've seen from Vision throughout the year, right? I don't think we've seen a Satanic IO. It's been 9 class, it's been his signature.
Could it still not be a mid IO though, and the Ember 4 that you guys were talking about, which is why they're doubling down that if that's what they want to go, at least Satanic won't get something that he's popped off on and felt comfortable with?
That's definitely possible, and I think they're trying to cover their bases because they're not entirely sure. No one is, besides the 6 people in that Vision booth. Nobody knows what the plan is with this IO. It was pre-concocted for this game when we're going to surprise them. We're going to get off the jump in the right way, and so we just don't know yet.
I mean, I think even for Vision, right, you have the option of like, because I think they're a kind of team that will try to do everything they possibly can to get the setup correct from the start. So depending on what they feel like is, do we want a Satanic hero here? Does the Satanic just play the IO? It looks like he's pretty quiet, so I'm leaning towards him potentially being the IO and it being a new mid pick.
Yeah, you often can gauge who's picking the hero just by who's talking the most near the end of the draft, and I agree with that rationale. I also think I've seen him play it in pubs. I've played against his IO in pubs. And so it is something that he has practiced. He's not incapable of doing. It's not completely blind, even though it may be new to officials. And they're gonna tank the mid matchup. So no one's saying, I picked the Ember, it's fine. I can deal with the Slark. We've seen many mid players this tournament say that, and they cannot deal with the Slark. And so no one will have to prove if he's different from the rest, if he's cut from a different cloth.
And Centaur is still in the pool. Like, now that you see this IO carry, you can just play for wave drags, farm on the Centaur, and just provide the stun for your team. It went ignored this draft.
Yeah, it's solid. It's a hero that will really never be bad. It's just solid in lane, gives you that is a scary lane. Axe Hoodwink, that is a lot of early potential, a lot of kill threat.
Undying, cool. Okay, I mean, I love the concept of just running at this carry IO with Decay non-stop as the offlane Undying and just trying to make it. Oh, it's mid IO.
They actually swapped. Really?
It's a Satanic Ember.
Wow. So then how is an Ember Undying lane when you don't get to just run at an IO now?
I honestly think this Undying is going to absolutely cause issues for this Ember. It is a really tricky lane. Ember on safe lane is already not quite as powerful as it is in mid. You don't get the bottle refills. You don't have that constant sustain coming out. And Undying creates a lot of pressure. And on top of that, there's a Dark Willow there. He doesn't really have nice escape mechanics. The support in Mirana doesn't super help him out in that regard either. So I think for Spirit, this ends up looking quite scary.
It's also a situation, Vision, I think they're not going to be super comfortable on. Satanic, I'm sure he's capable of playing Ember, but it's certainly not his bread and butter. And same thing with no one on IO. So You're walking into the first game of the TI Finals. There's pressure, there's nerves, there's the weight of trying to lift the Aegis, and now you're on something that you're not quite used to. That can affect your gameplay in very negative ways.
I would say it goes both ways, though, in their defense, because I don't think Laurel is like the happiest Slark player, and I would imagine this mid lane, IO is going to absolutely free farm.
Yeah.
Slark doesn't really have a way to pressure, so there's going to be a free farming IO in the mid lane, and so for both teams, and this is something special about Grand Finals, right? They both understand each other so well that they've managed to take both sides out of their comfort zone.
But that is where Spirit should depend on their side lanes. They've got SF on one side, they've got Core Undying on the other side, two with very good lanes. How far can they take them?
Look, Vision held their cards close to their chest for that whole draft, and at the end we got a mid IO and a carry Ember Spirit, and if only there were a way in which we could get into their minds and understand more of their thinking. Well, we can't do that. It's Tsunami and Puppey.
Thank you. Yes, I am joined by coach of Vision, Puppey. Welcome back to TI Grand Finals, my man. And I mean, no disrespect when I say this, but after the past few years of your Dota career, were you ever wondering if you would be able to make it back here?
I thought I would be here if I just had a better team, maybe. That's it.
Oh, so you're just like all my pub teammates then?
Yeah, fucking teammates. No, I mean, it was a rough time. Maybe I needed a vacation. Maybe I needed something. But overall, I always thought that I know how to play Dota, or at least I know how to win Dota.
You have proven that time and time again, and now you're ready to prove it in a best of 5. And in a best of 5, I'm wondering, how do you approach banning and drafting? Do you get to give yourself more of a leash because you're like, well, I'm not going to get eliminated after 2 games of experimentation?
Yeah, but this is not necessarily an experiment. This is something we've tried. So if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, well, we tried it. We did.
And the this that I'm assuming you're referring to is no one on IO. He has 0 competitive games on this hero, and you're debuting it now at TI Grand Finals.
That's what TI is for.
And also what TI is for is watching the games. Puppey, thank you very much for the interview as we send it to game number 1.
Thank you very much there, Tsunami and Puppey. Indeed, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into the grand finals here of the International 2026. Team Spirit up against Team Vision. Fog, everybody around the world, they're just so excited to see these two teams play. Now we're getting them going head-to-head in this best of 5 for the Ages of Champions. You couldn't ask for anything more.
The question is, what do we start to talk about, right? There's storylines, there's incredible different type of style hero picks, there's new heroes being picked in the grand finals.
We've got a disruptor.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin, right? So, yeah, Vision changing things up quite a bit here. Spirit with more, you can just look at it, right? A bit more of a normal approach, heavy team fight, strong carry pick. We have to talk about, you know, the young prodigy of Satanic playing something different on a
very different.
Ember, while Yotoro, the legend carry himself, playing something much more standard. I don't know where to even start.
Yeah, I mean, how is that matchup going to go down? We're going to look forward to the clashes when it inevitably gets to the point where these two carries are going to have to meet head-to-head. But yeah, a confident move here from Team Vision, and a risky one. You know, Puppey said, game 1, trying something different. It's TI. It's the time, apparently, to try something a little new in game 1 of the Grand Finals. I'm all for it, and I'm not surprised. I'm sure as this Grand Finals goes on, we're going to see both teams bring out some strategies that we're yet to see in the entire tournament. We're already getting here in this first game from them.
So Satanic playing the side lane Ember. I think we've seen one of these side lane Embers have success. I think it was Sumail in one of the games that we did.
He did win again, but out.
Good. But that was it.
Yeah.
All the other side lane Embers, they've had a pretty horrible start into the games, especially when they're into these Slarks and into quite a bit of counter picks too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Not just the Slark, this Disruptor pick as well, the Willow pick too. Willow is a problematic hero for a lot of these Spirits in the mid game, so we'll see how they do endure. Mid lane though, let's see, because I haven't seen these Slarks lose the lane and get pressured super hard, so I'm wondering how he's going to do if he does get set behind too much versus the IO as well. So approaches, Spirit, as we said, much more of a normal type of strategy, lots of team fight coming together, while for the side of Vision, this is an incredibly strong skirmish draft with high mobility that can punish a bit of more of a kind of greedy type of draft, I guess you could say.
Oh, Satanic! It's not going to be an easy lane for him. It's early days, Fog, but I've got concerns. Ember safe lane has looked so shaky in the majority of games that we've seen it tried, and it's just one of those things that conceptually has never been good, Fog. We've never seen a meta where Ember safe lane's been the thing. We'll see bottom lane route. It's going to end up ticking out here to the damage from 9 class notice, so Vision will be able to get themselves a kill down on the other side of the map, but it's a huge risk. And obviously Vision, they've got their star player, the prodigy on this. It's so much pressure for Satanic, to be put on his shoulders here in game 1 of the grand finals.
100%. In this game, right, you look at the Flame Guard, yes, he'll be able to farm with it, but they have lots of ways to be able to break through it with the SF, with the raises, either with the Soul Rip. They have so many different answers, it does feel. And I'm looking at the mid lane. This Slark's doing pretty damn good. 11-17, 11-1 at the moment.
I gotta say, I think this is a little bit better than he should be getting away with. This is, in this matchup, they make the switch up, obviously, to take the Ember away from the Slark, but you'd imagine they would ideally do that in a situation where the Slark would suffer mid, and yeah, as you can see on the numbers, he's not suffering at all here, Lal.
At the least, it isn't an Ember that has well, he still has very low last hits, but we've seen a lot of these mid matchups versus the Ember where the Ember has like 2 last hits to 15 of the Slark. So at least there's that. But yeah, I'm just watching the Slark walk up, steal the regen of the IO with his with the Shiv. So he's getting quite a lot out of it versus that bottle, versus the Tango regen that's coming in from a high regen here.
Not me. Making it look easy on this top lane, having to just chase down Ducalis solo and finish off the kill completely on his own.
Oh, and this does look like one of those games where it's one of the best Willow games I think I've seen. You're playing versus Ember, you're playing versus Mirana as well. It is a fantastic game just to have these Brambles.
And in terms of the Spirit duo as a whole, right, the fact that we're on this Disruptor, we don't see it really at all, but this game, you're seeing a lot of potential for a Disruptor.
Absolutely. Great ways to catch versus the Ember. Your great counter pick versus the IO. Satanic again.
It's a lot of damage. He's going to get chased down. Will dodge the Shadow Realm hit. There's going to be another decay in a second here with the stick charges. Doesn't matter. He's still going to live, Satanic, but kept incredibly low and barely finding farm from this top lane. Bottom of the cores right now. It's going to be such a tough early game here for Satanic.
And a lot of the games for Vision, too. We mentioned the power of Ducalis plus Satanic, what they're able to get out of the lane, what they're able to punish the opposing lane with. This is just a lane that cannot win. So trying to get as much as they can out of it. But yeah, Satanic being brought super low over and over again. The decay on the Ember also, it's pretty devastating when you have this much damage from a hero like Willow. Ducalis, careful.
It's going to be all right, but again, relatively. So super low HP here on Ducalis, completely out of regen.
Oh, and they are free farming all 3 lanes right now. Yatoro now at this point, he's given the lane for free. They have to actually move Noticed away. They don't want to be playing versus that Shadow Fiend, so movements are coming in from both sides. 9 class in mid, looking for Laurel.
They really need this kill. They've got to try and punish this Slark somehow, because so far, Lal to be top 2 CS here in a matchup where Vision had the chance to switch things up and try and force this Slark into a less favorable position. It just hasn't happened. Lal, he's loving the laning stage.
And Spirit overall, right? If they win the laning phase, very strong team fight prowess and good Vision heroes as well, too. We don't see it picked as much, because the Disruptor isn't picked as much, but Slark with the Night Vision, Undying Tombstone gives great vision. You're gonna get these glimpses off if you're ahead, and no one...
The other tethered across the 9 class. Nice pushback does catch on to the both of them. Ducalis here as well to help out. No one. He's got a TP back to base, though, to refuel.
It's a pretty fantastic start for Spirit here. Yatoro has run away with these games when he's been given this space on the Shadow Fiend. He's going to have a lot of that space in this game, just from the way these lanes are.
Extra pressure being brought into the top lane. Rue ready to join.
They're looking for collapse.
Gonna get the Soul Rip heal off. Good damage here with the Acorn shot. They'll bring him down. If they can get the chance to finish off another Thunderstrike on Ducalis, will allow Rue to take the Mirana out.
Not me.
See Nomi getting chased down by 9 class. A few more right clicks should do it. Try and hide around the trees, but 9 class will find him.
But it will be a trade.
Yeah, Rue's going to have to glimpse into another Thunderstrike soon if necessary. Shouldn't beat the creeps and a right click will do the job. So Spirit, bring attention top. Same to be said though for Vision. Still overall, Spirit coming out on top of these trades.
But I like the movement, to be honest with you, from Vision. I think this was super clever, just breaking the lanes, moving the supports to help the Ember. The IO is ahead of the Slark now at this point, and they're not that far behind on the Ember Spirit, all things considered.
Yes.
He's 500 behind the Shadow Fiend, so as a side lane Ember, you know what? Not too shabby with these type of moves that we've seen them make.
Look at this early move from Yatoro. Not normally a place you expect to see the carrier stepping up.
Oh, 9 class.
The tier 2. 9 class is going to be massively surprised by the fact that there's a safe lane SF here behind the tier 1 mid with 6 minutes in.
And here the catch, the glimpse. Is it enough? No one has a regen running.
Yatoro's stepping up. He's going to be able to line up a couple of raises. Won't be enough, but still a massive aggression here from Yatoro. Making moves this deep pre-7 minutes.
Wisdom Rune, are they going to end up having to sack it, though? We do see the positioning here from Vision. There's a Tombstone on high ground.
This might be hard for Ducalis and Satanic to battle.
He sees it. He can hit it up on the high ground.
Ducalis might get taken out first. Collapse turns towards him. Ducalis
the Soul Rip.
No one will come over to help out. So they'll at least make sure they get the kill in return and will manage to take away that wisdom.
So that's, when you do make these type of moves, Yatoro wants to go for the mid lane. They don't have the Slark going toward the left side. They get outnumbered. They will have to give up that double shrine there, which is very important, as we said, for Vision, being able to get this. And it's Satanic who gets it too. So he is a side lane Ember, but gets that big bonus of levels that is pretty necessary.
And that's huge. He needs everything he can get here out of this laning stage. Satanic
trading.
We get caught by the glimpse. And here's still pre-level 6. It's a bit tough. He'll get the chains off once it collapse. Managed to hide in the trees. He'll get away for now, Satanic.
Didn't have the mana for the kinetic field there on Rue. Just a bit lacking on it, so won't be able to get that follow-up catch. Yatoro, though, getting this crazy amount of free farm on a much more normal carry hero. We just have to keep referencing that, right? Satanic, sure, he has played quite a bit of Ember in the past, but let's see how it's going to end up matching up in this game. I see he's queuing up the Mage Slayer.
I like the build. We saw some alternative ways tried, right, with the safe lane Ember. I think what we have Mickey going for like an Urn into Radiance build. Didn't work out. We're actually seeing Satanic still considering options
switching
here,
it up,
queuing up the Kaya and such. Definitely would help in terms of just kind of speeding up the farm, allowing him to stay out on the map a little longer with the mana. So it's probably one of those situations he hasn't been in a lot, considering what to buy as the carry Ember. So it's going to be very interesting to see what one of, if not the best carry in the world, does with this sort of position.
I'm just wondering, even though the lane, as we were saying, it didn't end up absolutely atrocious, it still wasn't great, how he's going to keep up in pace with something like a Shadow Fiend, who just can double raise onto some neutral camps, push out lanes super easy. For this Ember, it's so much slower how he can farm, and it's rare to say this, where Satanic, he's been a #1, #2 net worth in 95% of their games. This is one of those games he's going to have to play a bottom core as in the game, and into hard matchups.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, just the carry matchup in general. The fact that he's doing it against Yatoro, the other one that very easily could be labeled the best carry in the world, on an SF. Like, Yatoro could not be more comfortable in this position. Game 1 of a grand final, some ways, done pretty well historically when he gets to them, and he's on his Shadow Fiend, one of the hottest carries right now in the meta.
And he warmed up on it already today, finding a solo kill on Watson earlier, which was super impressive. So we're going to see a lot of oppression come out from Spirit. We talk about Disruptor in the past a lot when we used to see him, is when you're ahead, you really can press your advantage. So they're looking for kills right now. In 9th class, they'll find him.
A quick grab, set it up for Yatoro. He's going to be able to take down the tier 1. I mean, it just feels like Yatoro is going to be able to do so much.
He is.
While Satanic, he's just going to hope that there's going to be the time to get to a stage of the game where he can make plays. Top, they'll try and look to punish Collapse.
He's turning on him.
He's pretty scary. Collapse drops down the tombstone. Satanic, he has to just run.
Can he run too? Brute Not Me is trying to close the gap.
Oh,
Satanic,
he's going to go
caught.
down.
Oh boy, and it's early days, but this is devastating for Vision. And even another glimpse, Rue is there.
They're going to get another very likely. Carlos will try and leap away, just accepts his fate. He knows there's no further way to escape the reach of Collapse.
Nice Spirit
double
with a much more normal approach to the
really
game,
was.
And it's just looking so much easier to play with this type of advantage. So many catches. The damage isn't there for Collapse at this point. He just walks up. He doesn't even have really that many HP items. Just gets the ulti off. They are lacking in damage early on the side of Vision.
And Yatoro is nearly double the net worth of Satanic.
Oh boy, Owen.
I'll tell you what, this is not doing wonders for the games where I like to pick some safe lane Ember at home. I'm going to get reports as soon as the game starts now.
They will find him.
As we're seeing, this is not the position for this hero right now.
They've got to do some heavy lifting with the IO and the 2 supports to get some space. Notice has been quiet so far here, so maybe if you can get to that timing of the Blink Dagger and look to get involved, but really, when I'm looking at the damage, I'm looking at some lackluster approaches here from Vision.
I can't find it.
Their burst could come out if the Sharpshooter's there, but is that going to be enough when the SF is starting to get this much of an advantage? And now notice...
They're going to have the glimpse into the Requiem. Okay, the call does put a stop to the Requiem. Doesn't matter, though. Or maybe it will. It's close. Okay,
he lives.
He lives. All right.
Raindrop actually protecting him.
Gets to live, and I'll be honest, I think Notice, he's probably the one that you're looking at to try and save Team Vision from the state of the game that they're in.
Yeah. And the mobility that can come in from the IO, see how much no one can connect with these relocates. He's halfway towards the Aghanim's.
Okay.
Said their skirmishing is strong on Vision, but if they fall too far behind, their team fight is very lackluster in comparison.
They're falling pretty fast.
They are.
Another tower here taken by Yatoro.
Okay, they're going to try to use the Moonlight Shadow to maybe sneak something in here, but it's still very difficult without Notice having the Blade Mail or the Blink. And Stacks, and they're starting to be formed. So Spirit, on top of playing super oppressively here, they've got this backup condition to just make Yatoro continue to be this beast. And Ember, He can't farm stacks. He can farm small neutral camps with the stack, but not an ancient stack.
And you can tell right from the item build-up. Oh, we'll see in the mid. They do get the catch into the call. All right.
Nice kill.
Ball's gone.
It's something for sure.
I really do feel, as I say, this is a game where you're looking to notice if you're Vision. He's got to do some big moves to get them out of this spot. Going for the Blade Mail, of course, into the Blink.
I think, yeah, I like the Blade Mail first. I mean, Blink first is also very dangerous to do because you can just blink it and die and you don't have follow-up. The Blade Mail, it's going to provide that damage that they're kind of missing.
You might kill the SF.
You might be able to. Rue, positioned here for Notice.
Okay. He did get himself out of this last time, Notice.
There is an ulti this time, though, from Rue.
Yeah, there'll be no hesitation. Dropping down the Static Storm. Yatoro's able to step up, lay down the raises. This time,
Reload.
No chance of Notice running. No one's going to come in.
And they get the catch.
It's a tricky one, especially with Lala around as well. Vision, they've got to be careful how they chase for this. Lala ready to pounce aggressively straight towards them. Acorn shot in the bushwhack completely off the mark.
Satanic.
He steps up. He'll drop a Remnant out, but he'll get another one away, so we'll still be able to jump out despite being glimpsed back.
They bring the numbers forward on the side of Vision and can't go for any type of trade play here because our Spirit, they just react to the numbers themselves. They bring everybody over. They know how ahead they are right now. Playing with this Disruptor, Max Glimpse is online. They can keep bringing this number advantage. Even if the IO relocate comes in, they can just send him away. 9 class, a good connection here onto Collapse, so they have follow-up. It looks like it's coming.
Backup's coming up for Collapse. It's all right. Now they'll get the glimpse. I mean, this is the dream sort of position, right, to be playing with this Disruptor. We don't get to see it a lot, but in these sort of games where you're starting to get this sort of momentum, this is where Rue absolutely controls every single play. You cannot run. He will bring you back, and what better carry to bring the enemy back over towards than an SF? Yatoro's going to clean them up every time that Rue catches them.
He's still continuing at almost double net worth of the Ember Spirit. As we said, Satanic, it's very rare that he's put in this bad of a position.
Yes.
So how is he going to really recover?
I don't know.
Trying to bring numbers, but Spirit's reacting every single time. And yeah, this is like you said, the Disruptor pick is looking incredible. They have all the vision tools with the Slark, with the Undying to be able to give him these glimpses over and over again. It's early, but it's a 5K lead, and it's about to jump to a 6K after these stacks get finished up here from Yatoro.
Just a very tough road ahead for Satanic. If he's able to make this work, this it's going to be unbelievable.
Okay, Notice just feeling like, okay, I can't actually go for the Greed Blade. I need a blink. We need a way to set up and slow the pace down.
I don't mind it. I mean, it definitely shows, Vision, they realize the spot they're in ain't too great.
Yeah.
They got to do something drastic. Blink dagger timing with the smoke. They need something big. The dream catch, of course, would be Yatoro. Let's see who they can find Vision.
Will they have the damage is the question, because I'm looking at the build from Collapse in this game also. He's maxed the Soul Rip. So there's quite a bit of sustain that can come in even if they do get the catch. And Yatoro has Mask of Madness.
See, not me, but not me is not the one they want to go for. They want Yatoro. Yatoro is going to step up. Notice, he's thinking about it. He's going to make the jump in with the call into the arrow.
Static Storm.
But then he'll get laid down. Yatoro will get hit by the sharpshooter. Please have to get off the rack.
Too much heals.
The Notice is gone. No one to fall. Ducalis has to retreat, but Lal chases him out. Yatoro throws out another raise. They cannot go on this SF right now. They hit the call, they hit the arrow, but it just doesn't matter every single time. Backup's going to be there, and they don't even get close to killing him. Even with multiple ults connecting, the sharpshooter comes in. Yatoro doesn't even get anywhere close to dying.
Spirit, they're 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 steps ahead of the play. They've got double vision in the area. Thank you, Collapse, for the goals, of course. Double vision in the area to cover. They know exactly that move's going to happen. And Yatoro, he loves to play super aggressive on this Shadow Fiend. This team, it's insane how we've watched Spirit level up in just a couple months here. Not looking to play slow, late game type of potential. No, they're all about the aggression, especially with this lineup. They're not slowing down, Owen.
No, which is of great concern for Vision.
Yep, and another catch. He's just dead. I'm struggling to see the recovery.
I mean, I think you can see the struggle in sort of working out how to recover and just the build that Satanic's got queued up. There's no other carry that you're going to be playing at all in this meta, right, where you go Kaya, BKB, Radiance. It's just, that Satanic himself, he feels how awkward of a spot that he's in, that he's been put in, having to play this Ember in the safe lane, that there seems to be very little way to kind of farm and build your way out of this hole.
I don't think we're going to see this again, this, Slark type of thing with the Ember teams It's been tried too many times in this tournament. It's just looking so hard to recover. No one, he's got the Ags. Let's see how much he can do with this one. He's going to farm very fast, but he's still so vulnerable going into these fights versus the SF and the Slark.
With the Remnant there, Satanic will make sure it doesn't get tripped up by the Willow combo.
The thing too is like, a lot of times when you're playing with the IO, it's not, of course, it is about the IO, you know, the spirits, how much damage they do, but it's also, you're able to provide this extra sustain at times. When you're playing versus this Slark too, he just steals it. He walks up, throws that shiv onto somebody, and you're just preventing all that extra heal.
They'll find Root. It's going to be enough to kill him.
Can they get out?
They get out. I don't think noticed this. He's gone. Well,
not me, though.
Able to find him, but indeed 2 supports taken down. Time's been brought up for Yatoro to turn up. DeCarlos will manage to leap away. A favorable trade in terms of numbers.
Yep, not bad
They
here.
get both the supports. Sure, they lose a core, but in the position they're in, they'll take that.
Collapse, dodging the bushwhack. He's got Octarine already, so these decays, they're building up, reducing their health, tanking up himself. And also, so I keep mentioning about playing ahead on the side of Spirit when we're talking about the Disruptor. The other thing about playing ahead too is they have a Slark. So look at the vision on the map. All the wards, they're just getting taken away. So just completely controlling that versus vision, so limiting any of these aggressive moves of trying to outnumber in any way as well. It's so hard for them to make a move like this. Look where Yatoro's farming. He's just like, okay, I'll just take your Ancients multiple times here. I'm at no risk really at this point. He continues to have absolutely insane net worth. He is the net worth of 2 core heroes right now. Catch on the Undying. They've got him.
All right.
Ceaseless Sturge, he's right back into the mix.
Spirit might still bring the pressure in around this tier 2. Yatoro ready to turn up.
Looking for the wraparound here.
I mean, they might go for round 2 on Collapse. Oh, okay. Max is already going to be out through the Twin Gate. Not looking to set up, though.
9 class.
Back off.
Oh, no one's also caught in the back. Laurel does see him.
He's going to look to relocate out of this.
They got the glimpse.
They do. They time it
Perfect timing.
One of the age-old counters there to the IO, and that's one of the reasons the glimpse can be a bit too much sometime for him.
They're just running at them at this point. Oh, and 9 class, he's trying to get away, but they've got the vision on him, hiding in the trees.
They're not going to quite see him in time, so he will live, still losing their mid vision.
No space on the map, Owen. The only place that they can play right now is where they had that vision on Team Vision, and they're just still getting run at in that area. They'll kill the Undying, but as you said, Ceaseless Sturge, he's back immediately. And with the Octarine, it's a much faster cooldown as well. 360 seconds rather than that 480. So we'll be able to utilize that in the next move as well, potentially. See if Vision can bring the numbers again. Not me. Does still have this ward on the high ground. Panic.
Bringing the brambles. Into the fear, Lal ready to pounce in, closing onto DeCarlos. He'll get the leap off. Soul Rip from Collapse will allow Spirit to continue to rack up the kills here against Vision.
And Spirit too. They have a building hitter. While on Vision, they do not have a building hitter.
They don't have a single building.
They do not have a single one at this point too. So overall, just have to play to farm and try to catch back up with these items that they can get. Looking for the BKB timing. So double BKB, potentially triple BKB timing that Vision is going to look for versus that heavy team fight. But it's not just that team fight. That physical damage, it is there too from Yatoro that will be able to bypass it. Roche soon on the menu probably for Spirit. With this damage, I think it's time right now.
Step straight into there with the amplified damage.
Yep, they've got the Undying too, so he can pop the ult. He can keep pushing it forward even faster with the Tombstone too. They'll even save the ult potentially here for the fights. It's just going to be brought down so fast. Little to no mistakes from Spirit right now. And Vision just still trying to get these items online, trying to make the recovery for Satanic.
Yeah, very much making a statement for, maybe that Slark does actually have to be first phase if you want to open with December.
Yeah, potentially so.
It might just force you to kind of have to come in with these sort of strats that just don't seem to be anywhere close to working.
9 class trying to be cheeky here, finding a place to farm. Rune knows where he is.
They're going to see him.
They've got the catch.
Static Storm. Make sure there's no way for him to play his way out there. At the same time, Spirit, they've also got the creep wave moving in top. Notice we'll get the call onto Yatoro.
Got Aegis.
And no one's come across. Satanic.
The numbers are being brought in. They're buybacking on 9 class.
Let's have a look. They want to try and put everything into this play, Vision, see if they can find some sort of kill. But Collapse is ready to just run straight at them. Comes in with the ultimate, tanking up, heals up with the Soul Rip. Vision, they can't even touch him. He's fine. They've got to back off.
A cool build too. Collapse going for just a casual Glimmer Cape. He knows that the big burst damage that's coming out for Vision, it's that magical damage from the Mirana, from that Hoodwink as well with the Shard too. So that Glimmer's going to be very, very strong. He's kind of like this pseudo support to be able to protect Yatoro as well with the heals.
I mean, because at the moment, right, that's all that matters,
That's
really.
all the damage.
If they can save Yatoro, he will do everything. He'll kill them all. He'll kill their base. We'll see you in the
Catch
mid.
on Laurel.
He'll get the call.
Got him.
Laurel's gone. Noticed, I don't think he's getting out, though. Yatoro turns up with Collapse. They're able to take him down. Now over towards Ducalis. He's out of leaps.
They've got a glimpse if they needed it anyway. Rue wants another target, though. He's got a Blink. He's got a Tumbler's Toy if he can look for one. Panic trying to be cheeky here. Cut wave to get this extra farm. He's got the BKB.
Look at the courier.
Playing with fire here. Should be okay. Rue's like, you know what? I don't even want to chase him at this point. He's got the BKB.
So Yatoro was over there by the Remnant. Nearly actually in position, and now
He
Rue.
has to be careful. Satanic.
He's going to have to BKB possibly. Okay, did get the Remnant off.
They got Vision.
There, he can maybe time it, and he can.
Okay.
Able to jump back despite the glimpse.
That's the last Remnant. He's really trying to hang on to that BKB. But it really is just hanging on to it as Yatoro trying to give some more of that information.
Radiant are scanning.
8,000 lead for Spirit, continuing to play super oppressive here. And Rue, he is starting to build toward that Aghanims as well too already at this point. Blink and a point booster picked up. Vision starting to bring the numbers. Eyes on notice to see how big of calls he can get.
To be off the call. Doesn't matter though. Relocate comes in. They'll still get Rue. They'll get the two of them.
Getting the supports over and over again. Pretty decent when you are this far behind.
Calls from Spirit are watching at the side just in case anybody steps up here. They can still fight despite the death of their supports with how large they are.
First BKB reveal from Noan as well. They're trying to get to this timing of those triple BKBs for Vision. Yatoro on the hunt.
Give a slippery kill to Jaceful.
Can't quite find him here.
Tries his luck there with the raises, but off the mark.
Potentially looking for, you know, that Tormentor cup of play. It's going to shift soon. Both these teams, not really the biggest Tormentor teams either. Vision just desperately trying to find these places to farm. You look where Satanic is, look where no one is. They just really want to get to this item timing and then look for that fight when the Aegis does go down. Probably their best option, because they still are super behind at this point. They need to get the BKBs to counter that heavy team fight. Spirit's just chasing them all over.
Collapse just bullying Satanic, making sure that Satanic doesn't get the full freedom that he hoped for.
Satanic has to be pretty careful here. Yatoro, has he have the damage?
TP. Ooh, one hit away from being close enough to kill him, I'll tell you that.
Top, Ducalis. They also get noticed.
Look at the glimpse back, straight into the fear. Very nicely timed. He gets the blade mail off, but it doesn't matter. Notice is gone. Ducalis trapped by the kinetic field. Perfect timing with the glimpse into the fear there from the supports of Spirit.
Two of the better heroes to punish. They're trying to split with Collapse.
They're trying to make some sort of a play against Collapse with this relocate for no one, but it's not going to happen.
Now no one.
He's probably in trouble. Okay, he has got the BKB. He's going to try and chase down Rue with the Spirits, but the Soul Reveal comes in. Nobody in Spirit going down in this mid lane. As Vision continue to hemorrhage these kills.
3 deaths there, and it was a 9-class buyback earlier too that they were desperately trying to look for these extra kills up top. Ends up being brought down. Yatoro very close to having the silver edge. He is continuing to be double net worth of the Emerald.
I mean, he's just having a completely free game here. I can't imagine a better way to start off a TI Grand Finals if you're a carry than the one that Yatoro is having right now, and he is making absolutely everything out of the situation he's been given.
Not only is it 24-12, but look at the tower situation, right? As we said, Vision, they cannot touch the towers, especially because of how far behind they were at the start of this game. They're almost full HP. All the ones of Spirits have barely been touched at this point, while 2 tier 2s already have dropped on the side of Vision. And noticed his BKB is the timing that he wanted to get a bit of acceleration onto it. He's now died, I think, 3 times trying to make the space for the team, so his BKB is going to be so delayed at this point. Rue is going to have an Aghanims, maybe as that BKB comes out from the axe, so he's going to have extra answers even to prevent them from using it if he does get the initial catch. Vision. Panic. There's a silver-edged Yatoro stalking him.
Lined up and ready to go for this final tier 2 on the bottom lane.
So hard for Vision to put together a team fight. Spirit will take every single one of these battles at this point. Level 20 as well now hit for Yatoro. Satanic. I feel like every time we see Satanic, Collapse is on top of him. He's just following him, being super annoying.
It's in the mid.
Another catch on Laurel.
They do manage to bring Laurel down. Yatoro's considering if he wants to fight back here. The BKB was used by no one.
That is 4 times they've been able to find Laurel. Noticed.
He'll yet to get Yatoro though.
Can he get the glimpse? He will.
Straight back into the field and the Static Storm into the Requiem. Oh, there'll be a relocation.
Nice
save.
reload.
Nice one. All right, no one able to bail his axe out for now.
They're going to look for the fight after this. They're going to kill the Tombstone off. Doesn't look like they can go for the fight themselves. BKB still cooldown for no one. He'll play cautious. Spirit also will back up. They'll respect that save. Space needed. No one is pulling ahead a good amount here over the Slark as they have been able to find some nice kills onto Laurel with the chain stuns. If no one can end up being that rock that they really need for the team. Gonna go that Shiva's build that we do see for pretty much all the mid laners on the IO. But it's slower paced damage in comparison to something like Yatoro, who is accelerating toward more lifesteal. Is gonna go that Satanic build, stalling out any type of BKB. Knows he doesn't need it for now, maybe eventually at some points, but we know Yatoro. He plays for the Manta dodges. A 9 class, and that in 2 or 3 hits.
Also, Rue won't be able to tease much out of Satanic there. Satanic quick with the Remnant away.
And even though they're not keeping up, right, but not making the gold lead go so much faster in terms of per spirit, but the gains just aren't that big for Vision. I just don't know how much this Radiance for Satanic is really going to do, because we did see Mick try for it the other day, but as soon as he showed up to the fights with the Radiance and the BKB, he did absolutely nothing.
And it's a different build-up. The fact that Radiance is going to come so much later.
It is later as well.
It's, as I said, I think, Satanic's trying to do his best to adapt to this situation that he's been put on off the back of this draft. It's just not easy to make this safe lane Ember work.
Laurel now has the gem, so should be a lot safer. We have seen them pick him off a couple times here, but now with the gem should be much more protected in terms of not getting caught by the Blink Axe from that distance. Also going for the BKB early. I like it.
It's all right. You do something cute here.
Thinking about it. He can line up the Requiem.
He's going to try and open things up here with the Fear.
They got him.
That will do it.
We saw him solo kill Watson earlier. That was almost a solo kill as well, too. Did get a little help, but super impressive play. A flawless game from the legend himself. 8-0-3.
I'm pretty much maintaining this net worth position where he's so close to essentially being double the net worth of Satanic.
He's double the net worth of Laurel even, too, of his own teammate. Absolutely crazy performance from Yatoro this game. They're not able to slow things down. Noticed his BKB is about to be finished, so let's see if they can connect with this triple BKB timing, how much they can do. But again, the Radiance was slowed down. And it's besides the gold lead, look at the experience. It's a level 16 Ember. Yatoro's cracking level 23 in a second.
This is the thing, right? Yatoro, he is not going to care one bit about a Radiance on this Ember Spirit.
9 class, Laurel stalking him.
Bit of a tricky kill to chase for.
Forcing him away.
Meanwhile, over towards the mid, we're seeing them grouped up and ready to try and make a move here. Vision, the smoke out.
Trying to catch Spirit if they're split up in any way, but Spirit have been so careful in this game. The Satanic is going to be coming out very soon for Yatoro. They haven't had the damage to bring him down yet, and now they're going to have to somehow bypass the Satanic, which is one of the best answers versus the Blink Blade Mail Axe. Roche soon on the horizon too, something that Vision can't let Spirit get Roche. If they do, the game is going to be pretty much impossible for them. They're looking for Laurel again.
They've got him a fair few times.
Not going to be able to find that catch. All right, Radiance done, but at the same time, Yatoro gets a full Satanic. The damage isn't going to come out that fast from Vision, and there's heals. There's ways to protect. Collapse, as we said, he's playing this pseudo, the extra support in a way, right, with the build that he's gone for. He has Blink, he has Shard, so if they do get the catch, he even can get the saves as well. Again, just difficult to see how Vision approaches these fights.
Try and check out the situation. I'll find 9 class. Yatoro steps in, a couple of right clicks. That's 9 class gone.
Godlike. Vision needs every number too. So even if they lose one hero contesting that Roche, already was super hard, now impossible. So they're gonna have to just accept the fact that they're playing versus this Aegis. Push might come onto their high ground pretty soon here with the banner as well. Toro, super tanky, can probably just frontline. And how's Rue doing for his Aghanims too? He's got 3 components already finished up. So yes,
pretty close.
Vision's got some BKBs, but they might be put in a position where they can't even get them off too. Satanic, Toro.
Satanic is not taking any chances this time.
They're trying desperately to get any type of building damage. Got a decent amount bottom here, but it is just that tier 1.
Ready to get this bottom wave pushed out. They'll pick up the Tormentor first.
Finally. These teams hate Tormentor. Brew will get blessed with it as well. A nice one too. The kinetic fence is quite good this game versus the Mirana, versus the Io, even versus the Ember in some situations. Can be quite annoying. Extra little bit of lockdown. But just, yeah, so much sustain, so much save at this point on Spirit. Vision, what's the next big gain they're getting? Okay, no one is going for something a bit different too. Queuing up the Hex. So looking like they just want to get this chain control to not allow this, you know, Yatoro to just go absolutely crazy. But as you said, there's saves, there's heals, there's this Tombstone.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Toro ready to make quick work of this tier 2. Plenty of minutes left. They want to try and push up high ground with this Aegis.
Got a creep wave coming in.
Radiant are scanning.
Ags, it's done. Rue, he has it finished in 10 gold now. They're going to smoke up. Potentially look for the catch as a hero shows on the side of Vision.
If anyone steps out of the base, they'll get quite a nasty surprise.
They have the Slark Shard as well, too. So Tombstone, Slark Shard, Soul Rip, Glimmers, so many things to protect you, Toro.
Gonna get the call.
That's a heal.
Soul Rip's there. They're keeping him healed up pretty nice. He'll get the man shot. The pushback comes out after, but there's gonna be the save from the Tombstone. Fear connects onto no one.
Satanic to heal up, Yatoro. We'll back away and respect the damage. They force everybody from Vision back.
Can play it safe, work on sorting out the other lanes here. Spirit.
They also, now they do have that Ags Disruptor, so Vision has to be so prepared to click those BKBs, but it's going to be difficult because the Blink's there too for Rue, so can't just blink and drop that Static Storm.
Just going to be ridiculous amounts of damage coming out from Yatoro. It's just,
really
just over 1,000 gold away from having that Daedalus.
And the wards just continue to get taken out. The gem that they picked up on the Slark with disadvantage, constricting the map. Collapse. They saw someone outside for a quick second here. They want to get a glimpse. Can't quite find the angle here. Not letting Vision get outside.
Tanic's just trying to find some sort of corner of the map. 9 class is going to go for a very aggressive jump out of the base to try and set up onto Rue. Lol, he'll be able to punish that. Rue's perfectly fine.
They've got the Depth Shroud as well, too. Just so many ways to cover and protect each other.
Radiant's turret has been
Satanic desperately trying to find that Aghanims. The quietest game I think we've seen from him at this international.
I think it is.
Toro, arrow will connect.
It's a lot of damage.
They've got so much sustain and so many ways to protect them.
Keeping their cool, able to continue to hit the tier 3s, force out the fortification here in the mid. Toro can back up, pick up that Demon Edge.
90 seconds still on this Aegis. This is an aggressive relocate positioning from no one here. Is this Disruptor could catch him?
Have a look. Quick jump. BKB
got the BKB off. Okay.
Make sure he gets that there before the Static Storm.
They're going to try the glimpse timing, but he still has the BKB active, so he will be safe. Good thing he clicks that BKB when he does, or he's dead.
I think as soon as he saw people turn up, he knew that there was a high chance that that play would be looked towards by Root.
Toro standing strong by himself here. He still has the Aegis.
9 class! He's going to take it out in a couple of hits. They're going to try and battle you.
He's too strong.
He's going to run. These hits are going to hurt.
Oh my God, so close to Satanic even getting brought down. Yatoro showing he can fight versus everybody with disadvantage. No fear.
Yeah, this is, especially in situations like that, I can only imagine, Fog, that Satanic is like, please let me play something else. I do not want to play this carry Ember. I really don't. It cannot be fun fogged.
Not if Yotoro, especially not if Yotoro's getting to play Shadow Fiend, right? You're looking like, look at the difference in this guy.
He gets the SF and I get this. It just doesn't feel fair.
Really doesn't at this point. Now no glyph for Vision to stop this push. Can they get Yotoro off of the racks? No BKB for no one either for this push.
Getting the call.
Try again.
Really any follow-up. They do get the arrow. Collapse has already jumped in. Satani's going to try and go in on the back lines here aggressively with the BKB. He's going to try and chase out Rue, bring the Disruptor down. He'll succeed. Takes Rue out the fight. BKB's about to come to an end though, so he'll have to jump back defensively. Did manage to get that kill there with that play, Satanic.
That was a pretty cool one. Just jumps past everybody. Did have to use a lot of the remnants. They did have to use their BKB. That was both the BKBs, right? Just to find a support kill. So it's something, but it's a very expensive commitment just to find a Disruptor here at this point. But they have to do that, right? I think this is exactly how the Emperor has to play. You cannot let Rue get his spells off because you will just get destroyed in the team fight if he gets a Static Storm on top of you. Even the bigger Static Storm. A Chasm Stone casually picked up from the Disruptor too, so even more massive to be able to get the connection onto them here. Some decent execution we're seeing, the attempts from Vision, right? Getting the call, pulling him back, getting that connection of the arrow too. But yeah, just still a bit too far behind to bring down Yotoro at all. How's no one's Hex looking? He does have the gold for it, but saving for the buyback for the moment.
Yotoro. Notice sticks around. He might regret it, but the blink in time.
Look at the build he has to go for unnoticed. He's like, yeah, armor isn't the solution, guys. I need to blink Blade Mail and Ghost Scepter so I don't just die to this.
Against this SF, certainly so.
No one. Forced to pop the BKB defensively again.
He's going to try for the call, but Yalal, he was already up the BKB. So there'll be no follow-up damage to threaten the Slark. The Ghost Scepter buys him a little bit of time, but as it comes to an end, Spirit will bring Notice down.
Yotoro just running the show. Beyond godlike. And that was what? BKB used from no one. Notice still has his for the potential for the defense. Satanic also. But not having the IO BKB, he can just get popped. Yotoro. Aggressive Force Staff.
All right. Look at the Bushwhack. A little stunned, but the Tombstone's there. Satanic going to have to use a lot of his BKB to just try and take that out. They manage to do so in time. The call comes out.
They get him.
They've done it. They've killed Yotoro.
For the first time this game.
That's massive. Vision doing what seems to be the impossible. Now, Collapse, on the other hand, he's got a lot of HP to get through if they want to try and get Undying. Collapse is going to try and chase Rue out of the action. Collapse building the HP up. And Collapse, he's kind of cleaning them up. Satanic's gone. Double kill for Collapse.
Got the blink.
And he's ready for more. Jumps over to Notice. Notice trying to pop it. The decay comes in. Collapse, he don't need Yotoro now at this point. He's the new carry in town.
They had to use everything to kill you. They executed it pretty beautifully to bring down this SF, but Collapse
maybe even more.
I have 52 strength. He wants more.
Rounds 4 from La. Won't quite be able to get the slow onto either of them or the leash. Collapse, he still wants to get in.
They finally defeat Yotoro. They kill him the once at least. Good. They synergized that pretty beautifully there too. I didn't see if they broke the Tombstone. I think they did, right? Because he got stunned
right
afterwards from it. So it's pretty perfect that ends up happening, and they get the call right afterwards, so he doesn't get this attack.
So it can be done.
It can be done, but they end up losing a lot out of it as well too. 9 class looking for a cheeky catch here onto Laurel. They've got backup.
Well, listen, no one trying to come in and help out, but the BKB's up for Lyle.
Static Storm.
See them get the grab onto no one. Lyle falling low, but Collapse coming in with the save. Heals him up with the Soul Rip. Keeps Lyle strong. No one will relocate back out of there in time to survive, but the Carlos has been left out on the map.
Laurel too tanky. Too much regen. Gets to steal a lot here with the Shiv versus the Io over and over again. Plus the healing from the Undying. Absolutely seeing that come into play there. Vision, they're trying their hardest. They're doing some really cool execution plays, but at this deficit, you can just see how hard it really is.
It's just too much.
Yotoro back onto the push. We're on it dead for 25 seconds. Vision needs absolutely every little thing they can put together here. Collapse now, level 25. He's going to have like 10,000 HP when he pops that Flesh Golem.
Set of racks taken in the mid. Spirit, they can head over to the Roshan.
Safest play possible. Refresher Shard. Some really good ones they can put that onto. Either the Disruptor, they can put it onto the Undying as well, too. Some really good options that they can do. Even onto the Slug. I mean, everybody's a good option to get that Refresher Shard. They'll wait for a moment here, though. We'll see it again. Yatoro had just died over there from that great chain stun that they were able to do, but yeah, Collapse. A different beast after they've expended so much.
I mean, they sort of think about trying to do something about him, but not a lot that you can do about this Undying right now with that amount of HP built up on him.
Just walking at them. Getting so much farm, too. He's got the Cloak of Flames. He's got the Greedy. Yatoro, he'll give him a cheeky smile. He's like, you know, you got me.
Exactly. Same to be said here from Collapse. He is absolutely loving it here on his Undying.
Roshan time, 18k lead. Vision. I don't think they can contest in that area. High ground defenses, they can execute if they do at utmost perfection, but around the Roche, kind of suicide. Full disperser for Yatoro.
Yeah, he just... Refresher Shard available here for Collapse.
Oh god, Collapse has a full Hex now too. Oh my goodness. Just keeps flurrying out the items. He's keeping up in farm with an IO core. Very impressive that he's been able to do. We see Satanic, his farm is pretty impressive too, but still, at that back foot. Even bigger rate. I mean, this Static Storm's gonna be massive. We don't see Disruptor very often. I actually forgot that was even a talent for him at 20. With that Chasm Stone too, this Static Storm's gonna be huge.
So many things that they're gonna have to pre-BKB.
Yeah, they either have to pre-BKB or if they have to jump the Disruptor and kill him at the start of the fight. So they're just gonna get decimated from that Axe. Push coming in toward the north side.
Tora.
The Aegis goes in the quest to the answer. Collapse now finally switches his neutral item.
And immediately Satanic has to put this BKB. He's so terrified about what they'll throw at him. A quick tombstone dodge off the arrow.
I mean, he needs to use that.
He has to. It's so scary.
Otherwise, he's going to get hexed.
Well, 9 class outside of the base. Collapse, he's waiting from inside of the base. 9 class going to get glimpsed back. I mean, they just can't do anything about the fact that Collapse is just standing there between them.
He has 7,500 HP. Good luck bringing him down. I mean, put some Vessels onto him. Vessel's going to do like 300 damage per tick. No Vessel charges remaining, though, on Ducalis, so unfortunate for him.
Somebody's got to do something.
Jumps in. The Tombstone jumps out. There's no BKB for Satanic. How does he commit into the fight?
I don't know. They've got to try something.
Arrow, just to try to push him off, but Yatoro.
The racks are falling.
Standing strong.
And they even get him the once now. Backup set up perfectly around Yatoro.
Notice, as the Krellas now picked up, they spend their gold on the side of Vision, can't protect the racks. Smoke. Spirit, they're going to continue in this area. Continue the push. If anyone steps out, if Rue sees them, he will just blink Static Storm, grab them. Vision. Desperate move here.
They're on the low ground. Notice he's going to try for the jump, but he doesn't find an angle to get the call off. The Static Storm's laid down into the fear from the Requiem.
He used his gold, too, to buy the Krellas. He does not have buyback.
Spirit should have what it takes here to finish off the final set of wrecks.
Fear connects.
The Satanic is going to try and jump the backlines. Maybe let's see if he can kill off the support. So put the BKB, look to chase down the Willow. Can he at least get that? There's going to be Ultimate save. No one's just getting shredded by the right clicks of Yatoro. No one's gone. He's out for 100. They're getting close to killing off Collapse. He'll heal up with the Soul Rip and the Decay.
In his Tombstone.
He's still alive. Satanic, he's trying to run. No one coming with a tether to bail him out of this. He'll be able to live, Satanic.
They're just way too far ahead, Owen. They're all too tanky. Yatoro's damage, he shreds. I can't believe no one actually gets away.
And the Collapse, he's back in with another jump. They get the Hex onto Ducalis. He's out. He'll buy back. Satanic's going to jump in with the slide chains over towards Yatoro, but it's a triple kill for Yatoro. This game is over. GG is called. And Team Spirit will take game one. Yatoro finishes with a rampage here in Shanghai.
The legendary carry himself having a pretty free game this time around. Vision trying something here that we've said multiple teams have tried with this Ember to dodge this Slark. They put the IO mid, but the Slark was doing pretty fine. They did get some kills on Laurel, which was pretty impressive, but the biggest problem really was Yatoro is absolutely massive.
Yep.
Supports are getting a lot, and Collapse too. Love the build he goes for, knowing that he can play this pseudo kind of supportish style, get these extra heals. They run this one over, Owen.
They really do. I guess at the least for Team Vision, we did it from Puppey at the start, right?
They're trying
They already knew they were trying something, so they should be able to easily move past this into game 2. But as for this game 1 strat, it did not work out.
It was a strat that we weren't necessarily sure how it was going to play out. We saw so many new things. Disruptor, it's its first pick here for TI-15. We're also seeing no one playing that IO for the first time, and Satanic playing an Ember Spirit carry for the first time himself. I know we've seen Ember carry so far in this tournament, but Satanic himself having their first competitive games on those heroes, and you're like, is it game 1 of a TI finals where you want to do it? And I give them full credit to having that confidence, but at the end of the day, what Spirit cooked, Quinn, was just another level.
Yeah, I think the answer to your question, is this the place to do it, is no. I think you want to go back to your comfort. You want to go back to the solid strategies you played for the entirety of your career. We look at Satanic, you think of him as the hard carry that scales into the late game, that's going to put the team on the back, and how can you really do that with an Ember carry? It just wasn't the same level impact we're used to seeing from him, and I don't blame him. It's a very uncomfortable position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Puppey in the coach interview that they have tried it before and it wasn't unexpected for them. And he thinks that TI is for trying things and that's why they did it. But in practice, it didn't look that good. That IO mid didn't even manage to have a game against the Slark. The Ember lost to that Undying pick, which was brilliant because Team Spirit set up a situation where both side lanes would win and the mid flex didn't matter in Sania.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just comes back to what you brought up about how maybe Puppey is saying no to 9 Class's ideas. And for me, personally, I feel like Satanic's been the player of the tournament, or the player of Team Vision at least. And put him in an Ember against Undying lane, you're not really setting him up for success. And I feel like you have a guy on 9 Class that could take that upon him. He could play that Ember. It's something he's done in the past. Their lane didn't go well anyway. It's not like he's a particularly strong hoodwink player. So for me, it's just a little bit questionable how they approach this game 1. But to be honest, in a best of 5, you have a lot of room to do these kinds of things. And it doesn't matter for the next game. It's 0-0.
Room for error, room for growth, whichever way you want to look at it here. But it definitely felt like a game of bluffs in some way as well, because whilst the execution was incredibly high from Spirit, it felt like that they were coming in almost as a continuation of the best of 3 that they had in their upper bracket 2 days ago, where it's, we actually know what you like, we know what you don't like, and so they try and put Lal on an uncomfortable slog that he hasn't necessarily shown or proven himself on the same way he has other heroes, and vice versa, again, where Vision are thinking, we've got this Ember that we can move to other roles. We've got this IO that we know is comfortable mid, but at the end of the day, Quinn, I'm not really sure how that mid matchup played out. You said that it should be something more favorable to IO, but we didn't see that in eventuality.
Yeah, I think it probably should. It ended up being where Slark takes a relatively decent early CS advantage, and I think you can chalk a lot of that up to no one's inexperienced on the hero. It's quite a very player-specific hero. You need a lot of reps into how you move the spirits back and forth. It's a very finicky, I don't know, very IO-specific mechanic that not any other heroes have. And so I think I chalked it up to inexperience, and I think it's not just sort of a fault of Vision, but it's a skill that Spirit is really good at. And I think specifically in finals, I've felt this myself, that they are really good at taking you out of your comfort zone. It's not just Vision doing it to themselves. They're picking things and banning in a way that forces you to do that, or you feel compelled to it, almost like they're mind controlling you.
On that topic of potential inexperience on the mid IO, that may very well be true, but watching it play out, I don't think IO has any inherent advantages against Slark. The way the hero functions in the mid lane is it just farms. You trade farm, and for mid heroes to punish melee heroes, they have to make it so that if the melee heroes walk up to hit a creep, that they take absurd amounts of damage, and that just doesn't happen with IO until later levels, and I think fundamentally the concept there was also wrong.
We're going to look at the earlier mark between these two, right? Looking at about 10 minutes, I feel like that's that moment where you're wanting to see a little bit more movement coming out from your mid. You're hoping that they're going to be up there, the playmaker, or the solid rock for your team, and hopefully that they've had a good enough lane for themselves. But when it comes to this mark, it's not necessarily a glaring obvious who is doing that for their team, right, Quinn?
Yeah, it's very even, and you've got the pressure on the side lanes, and I think that's Spirit, that's how they love to play. They want to have Laurel just chilling, playing some matchup that's whatever, that's normal, that he's fine in, and they put pressure and they put the precedence on their side lanes to do well and have good matchups. And I think that came to fruition completely this game. It's exactly how they want to play. It's a bread and butter Spirit draft.
I feel like the main thing that I take away from the is the net worth. The Wisp has to be a lot more farmed coming out of that matchup. Honestly, it needs to be almost 1,000 gold higher at minute time.
Okay, that is a big difference. And you mentioned something briefly, Quinn, where you're talking about it's a lot down to the side lanes. What's happening on the action there as well? How much more can their mids offer, depending on how well their side lanes are going? And we've already talked about it. This is the first official we've seen Satanic on that Ember Spirit. And luckily we have Purge, who's going to give us more information about how it played out for him.
Yeah, they tried out the Ember Spirit with the shift to the safe lane. They thought they could make it work. Last I saw was Team Liquid playing it. And it's definitely a little bit harder here. Satanic did his best in the lane. He did some nice little tricky things like dodging the Willow blasts here. But after a quick level 2 on Willow, she got a D ward here. This really nice root is going to guarantee the kill on Satanic. That got him a first blood. And the lane didn't really get that much better for a bit here because that level 3 now for Undying is very, very fearsome. He did use Flame Guard to protect himself when he got gone on a bit here, which is going to give him a little bit of protection. But the downside is they have a lot of nuke damage here. So they actually were just bursting through his Flame Guard and almost killing him. Here's his final death here that you would normally get successfully, but Satanic, of course. So he's going to slight dodge that one as well, even using another Fairy Fire to survive. He had a tough lane. They did gank the Undying, but they did do this nice move on the Wisdom Shrine, which allowed them to, at the very least, get the Wisdom Shrine. But of course, a ton of rotations here, and Claps still got one support kill. So, but this was a nice moment for Satanic to catch up. And in the end of this, he's actually kind of close in net worth if you take a look at it. All things considered, yeah, he's really not that far away. So that was great. Then Yutoro did some really interesting things in this game. And you probably spotted him in the stream at some point showing up somewhere he's not supposed to be. So watch his path here. He was thinking about killing the Axe, but Axe basically got zoned because he's SF. SF wins his matchups. And then he's just fishing to do mid pressure. There's a catapult at this moment. So this is a really good time for him to be here, because if he's just successful at helping to get a kill, then they get a whole bunch more damage. And this is probably the moment you saw him on stream when he came here and double raised the enemy mid. This is kind of crazy to look at, but if you look at what happened on the map here, he's basically forcing the IO to go farm these camps over here, which means he's super far away from the mid lane. So it basically makes it easier for them to pressure the mid lane and for his Slark to get as much farm as he wants. And a short time later, he basically does the same thing. He's going to clear the wave. He's going to walk towards mid. He's going to take this nice little ancient stack, which is beautiful for him, and he's going to do the same thing. Hiding behind the tower, looking for a hero. He ends up spotting out 9 class, which guarantees the vision, which guarantees the kill, and again, guarantees the tower. So this early pressure that Yutoro did to rotate, it didn't take a huge amount of him. He lost a little bit of gold, but he got some nice ganks in. That pressure really opened things up on the map. The mid was opened up. Collapse had this really sick play, getting the kill on Satanic, and as a whole, the lanes just went great for Team Spirit.
Thank you so much, Purge. We're seeing it play out in real time. The Yutoro of TI-10, that's what he was praised for time and time again, was how early he was willing to rotate to mid, how he was willing to help out other cores despite this more traditional viewpoint of a carry being the #1 farmer. You're supposed to always be farming if you're not out there in your lane. And at the end of the day, he goes, well, there's other means to get kills. There's other means to be able to shut down our opponents, and that is pushing the mid laner out as far as possible.
Yeah, I love those clips. I think that it really shows some of the skills that the Yutoro doesn't always show, but somehow when it comes to TI, when it comes to the finals, he just builds this extra awareness of places he can be, places he can pressure. These are split-second decisions that you need to make in very specific moments, or you're just going to miss the opportunity, and he's so in the moment. He's so clutch in these finals. Almost no one else would make these moves, but Yutoro in zone is just a different beast.
To add on to that, it's just Team Spirit's understanding of which lanes to focus on has always been some of the most impressive out of all the teams in Dota. But they had this knowledge that if IO doesn't have any kind of farm, they won't be able to make moves because both side lanes were shut down. So if they moved their emphasis to the mid lane and pushed no one into the jungle, then there really was no tempo or counterplay for a very long time. And I do have to give them props for how they set up the Disruptor. Playing Disruptor with Slark's night vision and an SF coming mid, you're just happy in that situation, aren't you, Insania?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I played Disruptor, 2 of my favorite heroes to lane with were TB and SF, and it's just because they provide so much overwhelming damage. Whenever you glimpse someone back, they just immediately die. And that's like what they do on the lane, but then Yutoro takes it one step further, and he just makes sure that he's connected to all the moves that Disruptor wants to make. When Disruptor wants to move mid, well, he's there to provide the damage. And now suddenly, anybody that's within 1,600 range of a Disruptor is just dead.
Yeah, you can see it even from just the positioning. The SF is not playing like a typical turret and that he's standing behind everyone. For the majority of this game, Yutoro is standing in front of everyone because his supports wants to stand behind. He's charging at them so then the Disruptor can glimpse them back. That's such an unusual sort of switch of priority in how you're even just standing. These are the little things that go into the greatness that is these Tier 1 carry players or Tier 1 players in general on the biggest stage that he sees in the moment. This is a time for me to walk up and chat up for my supports who are going to sit behind. Compared to the inverse, that is amazing awareness awareness in the moment.
The domino effects that can happen in Dota are so beautiful because, like, when you think about it, you're like, okay, Slark, night vision, and yes, Disruptor, he needs vision. But if your side lanes are so overwhelming, you can play on the first night after minute 5. That's when the laning stage occurs, and that's when a lot of the kills were happening after those first 5 minutes. So from the first night, to be able to make that many kills happen off of your vision strategy, we don't see that very often. Usually it's the second or third night that this really becomes significant. I don't think I've ever seen a first night be that impactful.
It's rare. It's honestly super rare that you have like a Disruptor in a winning lane, a Slark mid of all things, and then the carry willing to connect as well. So I think all 3 of these things have to align for us to have this beautiful early game.
I just love it. The way that the draft played out, well, like, this is one of the biggest cooking sessions that we've seen Miposhka be able to do. A Disruptor that hasn't been picked at all in this TI, like the fact that it goes 2 whole weeks completely overlooked, even though SF, even though Slark have been gaining traction. SF was definitely one of those things that in this patch coming in, people were first phase banning. And so we talk about this cycle. Now it's back in the hero pool. Now there is adjustments that need to be made. And more importantly, that pressure is on Vision. We've seen them lose games, but they're in best of 3s. And it's normally a game 2 that they're losing when they're already up. So now they're going to be starting the best of 5 on the back foot. Yeah, there's room for experimentation because you need to be able to have 3 games to win, but you've done your experimenting in a game number 1, and so when it comes to a game 2, even though that experimenting didn't work, do you still have faith that you need to go down that route?
I feel like you mixed it up. I don't think they went for this Ember. The idea was Lar doesn't play Slark, and coming into the series, I would have said the same thing.
Okay.
So, you know, Spirit kind of catch them off guard. They got the Slark, they played the Ember, and now you're just going to shift priorities. You have so many other heroes in the Ember Spirit. You're not reliant on this hero. You know, there's a difference between a team like Vision and maybe Nigma that needed to play the Ember. These guys have a lot more up their sleeve.
Yeah, you're here for a reason. You've proven throughout the entire tournament that you are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the tournament. That was not a fair showing of their true potential. They're playing extremely off comfort on multiple roles. Go back to what you're good at and show the world and show Spirit why you're in this final. You deserve to be here. This is not the moment where you push over and say, they're just better than us. This is where you steel yourself and you go back to this and say, we're here for a reason, and now we're going to show you.
Yeah, that felt like a statement by Puppy that if they take Ember away from Team Spirit, then Laurel doesn't have heroes that they're uncomfortable dealing with in terms of tempo. Because if not the Ember, what have we seen Laurel play that pushed the Team Spirit supports forward on the map? I mean, another hero would be Pango, but it hasn't been that successful this tournament for him. And Puppy basically just said that our plan is to take it away. And if they do plan on taking it away again, it would just be with Slark being factored into the bans. I don't think it's a bad idea to go for Ember.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you open up doors for potentially a Bane, potentially a Winter Wyvern, and we just honestly, I feel like we just got to see how they react to this. It's hard to make any sort of predictions about what their take from the game is, because for me, at least watching, I think you don't want Satanic on Ember. We want him on some sort of win condition. And if this is the plan B, then I don't like the plan.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting how the sort of the order of these drafts pans out whenever hard counters like the Slark versus Ember arise. Ember, through a lot of this tournament, I think would be getting first pick, but there's this one pesky Slark. And so that means Ember is will be a second pick only hero because you need to pick it on the end of the first phase, so then you can ban the Slark in the next phase. Compared to if you try to pre-ban it, then they will just respond with the Ember ban. So you can actually never get Ember if you're first pick. And these things can arise and change how teams prioritize draft order and how the lineups are created, because maybe Ember was crucial and now you can't get it anymore from that pick side.
It's always the back and forth when it does come to drafting. Are you a team that loves and thrives on that first pick, or are you a team that wants to wait until the end to be able to be more reactionary and know that you have that depth within you there? And we're seeing all of our players, they walked out on stage, sitting back down in the booth, and we've brought this up time and time again, is how necessarily do Vision feel after a loss, right? Are they a team that gets a little bit downtrodden about it, or are they a team that goes, hey man, you chalk it up, it is what it is, and we just look towards a whole brand new game here? And I honestly think it's the second of those two options, because even though we've seen them be the team with an early GG in a game at TI, there were still a lot of laughs, there were still a lot of smiles, and I think the camaraderie between Vision is much stronger than maybe public perception sees.
I think so too, and I mean, no one was smiling at Satanic at the end of the game. Someone was chatting, and they seem to be okay. I think they have this understanding that when it's a draft issue, then you go next. Like Insania loves to say, every game is 0-0. You give up on the last loss.
Yeah, I think you just forget about the last game. I think you can draw some drafting lessons, but that's mostly for Puppy to do. And I think for the players, it's just we're going to go into the game, we're going to run it back. We had a series against Spirit before where we lost the game, and it's nothing new to us. We've done this before, and I feel like they've proven throughout this tournament that they are not fazed by losses. This has happened so many times, and this whole idea of like they used to be a team that tilted out a series or stuff like that, it just doesn't apply to them anymore.
Yeah.
And again, they have so many approaches they can take in a draft Quinn, like their Lone Druid or Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they've got plenty of tricks in the bag still. And I think they've also gotten, I hope, some of the jitters out of the way. If you look at some of the clips that Purge was showing, the Ember Spirit walks back into a bramble, or no one maybe is CSing it's a little bit off in lane. I think some of that is, it's a grand final. It just feels a little different. It's a little bigger, grander, scarier. You love to see it.
Bro knows it's him.
You love to see the smiles in finals. I think it's very easy to get sucked into, especially when you're down a game, the stress and pressure of we're down, we need to come back, we need to fix things, there's problems, and these can mount up and feel like this overwhelming dread sort of enveloping you. But I think the ability to not, only try to win, which is the most important thing, but also appreciate this is a very special moment you may never get again. You never know whenever these things will happen. Dota is a very competitive game, and people fall by the wayside all the time. And so I think being able to laugh and appreciate the moment, the privilege you've been given, I think is something they should all very much look to do.
We also saw just briefly there, we had Not Me come up on the screen, and I think it's a face not a lot of people are familiar with for two reasons. One, this is his first TI appearance. You're making it to a grand final with a veteran and a decorated org such as Spirit here. But on top of that, he shaved his beard off. And I know coming into the grand finals, we were all discussing, is it going to be Voltora? Well, over on the Chinese stream, Delv was talking to Maposhka and asked Maposhka about, did you guys consider shaving Yotora's head? And he goes, it worked twice. We don't really think it's going to work a third time. And as the rookie, Not Me had to tank it, and he was more than willing to shave his beard instead.
I love that this is kind of an initiation ritual for Team Spirit. I mean, there is a very specific culture in this team, and you can really watch it unfold in moments like these in the TI Grand Finals.
We've alluded to draft alterations that need to be had. The preparation and the pressure of those said drafts really falls on Puppey and Maposhka, and so we'll see how it pans out for game number 2.
Team Vision versus Team Spirit. Grand Finals. Game 2.
Spirit is up 1 game here in a best-of-5 for our TI-15 Grand Finals. We had Vision with first pick in game number 1, and it has been flipped this time around. It's going to be Spirit with their first pick, and so it does bring back all of those theories that you guys were crafting. Where does this Ember take priority now? Where does this lock fall in the draft if you're willing or wanting to take Ember in the first phase?
Yeah. There's this really cool thing you could do here if you're Team Spirit. Like, let's see, we're going to see Vision's 2 first bans. And if they notice that there's like 2 heroes that they want to ban out, that we know they want to ban, and we don't want to give them the opportunity to do it, you can ban out the Slark, forcing them to ban the Ember, and then giving you one of those heroes that you want to play in the upcoming situation.
Yeah, it's definitely something you consider, and with the way the bans have been changed over the years, the order of them is very important, and trading bans in that forced way is definitely a smart and cool tactic. They choose to pass on it in this instance, but it's something that may come into effect in later games as well.
With the Nature's Prophet taken out by Team Spirit, I think if you're Team Vision, you can comfortably lean back on your Lone Druid. I mean, there's always the concern of the first pick Winter Wyvern coming out from Team Spirit, but you have 2 bans here. Instead, they ban the Bane. Bane covers for Ember, it covers for Io.
Yeah, I wonder if these will be the bans that they continue with throughout the series. I know in the finals we played that sometimes you're wrong about the first phase bans. It can be a bit tricky to actually get those right, and it's so much easier from a third eye perspective, or from after the series to feel like, oh, obviously we should have banned this instead. Nature's Prophet was too broken. But sometimes you get mixed up and you ban the wrong heroes in the moment, and I think considering those and really making sure, is this really integral to their draft? Is this what binds them together is such an important thing.
Vision are looking at their final ban here, and what's been left in the pool from game number 1 is that Wyvern, it's also the Earth Spirit and the Coddle, and now it feels like you're in a tricky situation because at least 2 of those are getting through, along again with maybe that Ember.
I mean, I think that you have a lot of things to consider here, right? If you ban the Slark, then Spirit picks Ember. Are you happy to play Earth Spirit into Ember? We've seen quite a lot of success in that matchup specifically. Winter Wyvern has been Spirit's go-to first pick. I feel like in every single game that we've seen them play, when it's there, they always go for it. So